Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Kadash. Shalom to the elect men and sisters out there. Alright, let's get right into it.
Nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and asking for an abortion. That is not happening. It's insulting to the women of America. And
No, I'm talking about your bill. How late in the third trimester could a physician perform an abortion if he indicated it would impair the mental health of the woman?
So, through the third trimester. The third trimester goes all the way up to 40 weeks.
Okay, but to the end of the third trimester.
Yep, I don't think we have a limit in the bill.
So at 40 weeks old, the baby is basically developed. It's got the umbilical cord, everything. It even got hair, so it's ready to come out the womb at 40 weeks. So at this stage here in America, a woman is allowed to murder, because that's literally what it is, to murder a child, the child in her womb.
It's obvious that a woman is about to give birth. She has physical signs that she is about to give a birth. Would that still be a point at which she could request an abortion if she was so certified? She's dilating. I'm asking if your bill allows that.
My bill would allow that, yes.
People calling here. How can I help you?
I'm looking to have an abortion.
How far along are you?
I'm 34 right now.
An abortion at any stage is actually much safer than delivering a term pregnancy. It's a 4 to 5 day procedure. The needle is inserted through the abdomen and into the fetal heart where lidocaine is injected, and that will completely numb the fetus so there's no pain. And then after that, we inject a medication called digoxin and another medication called KCL into the fetal heart, which will slow and then stop the fetal heartbeat. And then we'll assist you in sort of pushing in the induction and then remove all of the products of conception. We specialize in later trimester care. Our doctor is very well versed in what he's doing and he's very good.
So I'm not like a rare situation. Y'all help women this late in pregnancy all the time?
All the time.
These women are merciless murderers of children. Just like the ancient Hamites in the when you read about them in the Apocrypha before the Israelites went into the land of Canaan and kicked them out. That was one of the reasons that the Most High specifically mentioned that they were merciless murderers of children, because they would kill the children as a means of sacrifice to their gods, to Baal. And we all know that the god of this system is Satan. So when these women murder their children, that's literally what it is. Abortion is another word for murder. It's a nice way to put it. You're sacrificing a baby to the system, because women, and I'm talking about our women in particular, they will abort children so they can continue their whoredom, or they'll abort their children or sacrifice their children so that they can have more time to establish a career, to establish themselves, to be more independent in this country. So there's something called feticide. So it says, if you need to undergo this procedure, which involves an injection through your abdomen to stop the fetal heartbeat, we will speak to you in advance of your treatment. A thin needle is placed through your abdomen into the fluid surrounding the pregnancy or the fetal heart, and a medicine used to stop the heartbeat is injected. It can take several hours for the heartbeat and fetal movement to stop. That's fucking cruel, man. If the injection was made into the fluid around the pregnancy, you are awake. So as they're killing the baby, the woman is awake as the baby is dying. So your womb turns into a coffin, a baby coffin. The baby is actually dying inside of you while you're awake. You are awake during this procedure, which takes 10 and 15 minutes. If you are having dilation and evacuation, meaning your vagina is pushing the baby out, because that late of a pregnancy, you're basically ready to give birth. It says dilapan may be placed into the cervix, the neck of the womb, at the same time of this procedure. Shit, man. So then I looked up, how is a baby removed after feticide is injected? Induction abortion. What happens? A lethal injection is used to stop your baby's heart. Feticide. And then labor is induced to deliver your dead baby. Damn. So there's stories of women. I've been to the abortion clinic so many times that even the doctor said, nah, you know what? We're not doing this no more. We got to send you home. So these women will kill a child. So they'll go to abortion clinic, have a lethal injection to murder the baby. Then they have another injection to induce the labor. So the woman delivers the baby anyway, but it's a dead baby. And then they leave and go like nothing happened, you know, because this could have been a baby of adultery. They cheated on somebody else. They cheat on their husband or the man, and so the real father say, you know, I ain't taking care of that kid. You know, I'll get an abortion. I'll give you the money. So the chick goes and gets the abortion, and then she goes home to her man like nothing happened that day. Like everything is cool. You know, she cooks him a nice steak and they're sitting down eating dinner. And earlier that day, she just aborted a baby. You know, stopped his heart and had delivered a dead baby. There's a lot of that going on. And then go right back to the husband. Hey, honey, you know, I'm taking half a day of work because I gotta go to the doctor to get a checkup. But she's going to get an abortion because she's having another man's baby. Let's look up some legit stats. So, like, Latino is up there, white is up there, but the height, of course, the nigga woman wins the race at 33%. You know, but this all goes back to the curses in Deuteronomy, right? Verse 36. It says, the tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, because our women used to be feminine. They used to be feminine, and they used to have compassion. Especially as an Israelite woman, there's something in you. It shows you how disconnected what the so-called black woman is from spirituality. Her eye shall be evil towards the husband of her bosom. And if you don't believe that is the case, check out what happened during divorces. The majority of divorces, I believe it's about 80%, and that's an old stat. It's got to be higher now. 85, 87% of the so-called black Israelite woman, mainly the black woman, they divorce. They lead the divorce. They initiate the divorces. And if this woman has a degree, PhD, master's degree, the number is in the 90s that they divorce the husband. And then you follow the divorce court, you follow the case, and you see that these women turn into vicious pit bulls to get the money from the husband. It says, her eyes shall be evil toward the husband of her bosom, and toward her son, and towards her daughter. So that's going into what? That's going in also into the abortions here in America, because abortion is a big thing here in America. These women that want to go out and just have fun and be relieved of all duties, that's here in America. 1 Timothy 5 and 6. But she that liveth in pleasure is dead while she liveth. Because that's what our women today are all about. It's all about pleasure. And for them to enjoy pleasure, if it takes murdering the child inside the womb, they'll do it. They will sacrifice their child for the God of this world, because the God of this world is all about pleasure, carnal lust, pleasure, having fun, adultery, sin. That's what our women are into. Women like this as the idols of these women. Okay, so here we have the Apocrypha, and this is Wisdom of Solomon, and this is chapter 12. And let's just start at 1. It says, for thine incorruptible spirit is in all things, therefore chastenest thou them little by little that offend, and warnest them by putting them in remembrance wherein they have offended, that leaving their wickedness they may believe on thee, O Lord. And this is what we try to do. You know, we try to get our people to take accountability for the wickedness. But the response is what? They want to kill us. They want us locked up. They want us thrown in jail. They want us shadow banned off the internet so that they continue to have fun. Especially women. Women hate Women hate taking accountability. They would rather murder a child than take accountability for their actions. So it says, therefore chasten thou them little by little that offend, and warnest them by putting them in remembrance wherein they have offended, that leaving their wickedness they may believe on thee, O Lord. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land. That's going into them Hamites. And that holy land is what? The land of Israel, which was known as the land of Canaan at this point. Verse 4, whom thou hatest for doing the most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices, and also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of man's flesh and feasts of blood, which is what abortion is. Abortion is a merciless murder of children, and it's a feast of blood. Because what's in there, what's in the womb is blood and fluid. It's a feast of blood, with their priests out of the midst of their idolatrous crew. And who would be the priest in this case? A priest would be that doctor, that surgeon that's in there removing that dead baby, injecting the woman with those chemicals, inducing the stroke. Basically, that's what the baby's having, a stroke. Basically, in doing the stroke of the baby, and then inducing the labor to deliver the dead child. That's a ritual. That's a ritual sacrifice. And then you know what happens to the baby after that. It's used for medical experiments. It's used to clone organs. It's used to make delicacies for the elites, because that's what they love to eat. So it says, with the priests out of the midst of the idolatrous crew, and the parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help. So if you call a woman who gets an abortion a murderer, you're not wrong. You're absolutely 100 correct, because it says it right here. Parents that killed with their own hands souls destitute of help. Now, the number one organization that provides the procedures to carry out the abortions is none other than Planned Parenthood. And a lot of people don't know the history of Planned Parenthood, because they package it as something that's good for society. They're helping out women, and they'll come up with these justifications so that it makes it seem like the woman is out of her control, that she must get an abortion because of the circumstances that she had the child under. But people don't know the history of Planned Parenthood, that's just devil work. That's witchcraft at work to subvert these silly ass women, who their women will go with it, because women by nature are wicked. In their hearts they are wicked. And women they lack accountability. So what you need to do for a woman is when she does wickedness, she has to create a boogeyman. She has to create something to justify, and so the guilt is not pinned on her. So they create different situations. Hey, if the woman got R''d, and just like Kamala said, if she got R''d, and it's not fair to her, it's not fair to her family, because she didn't want this to happen. If a woman, had a consensual sex with a man that she met at the club the night before, she was drunk, so she didn't know what she was doing. Let a man say he was drunk, and so he doesn't want to take care of the baby. Let's see, they say, you know what, that's completely understandable. They know what you were doing, so you don't have to pay child support. No, but the woman, she can get a whole abortion. She can inject a baby, or she's with a man and she decides, it's not going to work out. She can abort the baby at 40 weeks and deliver a dead baby. That's completely legal. But if a man doesn't want to take care of the baby, or the man finds out the baby's not his, guess what? He's still accountable for child support. That's how the system works. But these services are provided by Planned Parenthood, who the founder of Planned Parenthood is who? This woman by the name of Margaret Singer. I've got a picture somewhere. There we go. Margaret Singer, who was a eugenist. Now here, Sanger, she was part of something called the Negro Project, and this is because this eugenic. What does eugenics means? Eugenics means the belief that you have to curb undesirables out of society so that you can produce the most powerful race. So of course the undesirable would be who? Would be Jake, so-called Negro, Latino, Native American, you know, so-called Hispanics. Those are the undesirables. So in order to reach Jake, they created something called the Negro Project in the late 30s. So here you see it says Sanger began what was called the Negro Project in 1939 alongside with black leaders. So this is what they do to seduce Jake. They'll get puppets, they'll get so-called black leaders that are set up, bought out, and they'll use them to basically lead our people into wickedness. So they got black leaders like Dubois, Mary McLeod Bethune, I'm not sure who that is, Reverend. They got Adam Clayton Powell to bring access to birth control to black communities in the South. The advisory council called it a unique experiment in race building, which was really all about race destruction. In race building and humanitarian service to a race subjected to discrimination, hardship, and segregation. So this was the hook right here, to make them feel good about participating in abortion, because they said it's about race building and humanitarian service to a race subjugated to discrimination, hardship, and segregation. But when you check out the stats, and I forgot which one of the elites said this, but they said out of all the methods that they tried to commit genocide on Jake, that abortion was by far the most successful. So in a letter to philanthropist Albert Lasker, from whom she hoped to raise funds for the project, Sanger wrote that she wanted to help, and quote, a group notoriously underprivileged, remember, eugenics is all about undesirables, notoriously underprivileged and handicapped to a large measure by a caste. The caste system means what? If you're dark skinned, you're at the bottom of the social ladder. And if you have light skin, or if you're Edomite, basically, so-called white person, you're at the top of the social ladder. So it says they are handicapped to a large measure by a caste system that operates as an added weight upon their efforts to get a fair share of the better things in life. So, you know, Esau always likes to say, oh, you always like to play the race card. You have the same opportunity. Well, right here, Margaret Sanger, she said it herself, her quote, she said there is a race card out there, and that Jakes are severely handicapped in this society, meaning they're not afforded the same opportunities. A group notoriously underprivileged and handicapped to a large measure by a caste system that operates as an added weight upon their efforts to get a fair share of the better things in life. But the thing is, if you read the scriptures, we read Deuteronomy 28 earlier, we weren't brought here to America to get a fair share in life. So what we've been suffering here is a result of our disobedience to the Most High. And the only way out of it is to turn back to the Most High. To give them the means of helping themselves, and perhaps the richest gift of all. We believe birth control knowledge brought to this group is most direct constructive aid that can be given to them to improve their immediate situation. Now, you know what the scriptures call that? That's what the scriptures, when it talks about the poison of asps, that's what it's talking about. It's talking about these destructive philosophies. So this right here, was packaged in a way to, oh, it is supposed to help Jake, get better, have better options in society, which really this was for the woman, so the woman could go out there and be free. And hey, because the scriptures say this, look, in Isaiah 3:12, it says, as for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, they which lead thee cause thee to err. So what did we read here up here? Operation the Negro Project, alongside with black leaders like W.E.B. Du Bois, Mary McLeod Bethune, and Reverend Adam Clayton Powell. Black leaders. As for my people, children are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, that they which lead thee cause thee to err and destroy the ways of thy path. And part of this Planned Parenthood was to have this come to pass. Because this Planned Parenthood, it allows a facilitation of the woman to rule over the man, to be independent, because they believe what? Childhood bogs you down. It slows you down. It suppresses you. You could see part of that, the Planned Parenthood was part of what the scriptures say, to have the women rule over the men. The woman rebel, no gods, no masters. Because who is the god of the woman? The man. But now that you give the women independence, and you give them the choice to abort babies at will, they have no God and they have no master. But anyway, that's it, man. I saw this video, and Spirit got on me to do this video. So with that, I'm going to say shalom.